The story takes place in the 1980s when several ruthless, tattooed gangsters in Indonesia were mysteriously killed, causing chaos across the country. These gangsters drank human blood, and their deaths were shrouded in a terrifying mystery. On a dark night in 1984, an elderly villager named Danang, along with his men, devised a plan to eliminate these gangsters. Their leader Jared had an immortal body. Danang shot him multiple times, but he didn't die. The rest of the gang was soon defeated. Finally, Danang beheaded Jared and sealed his head inside a magical vessel. But before dying, Jared cast a deadly curse upon the village. Over time, people began to forget the incident. The story then jumps ahead 10 years. The main character, Gia, returns to the village for her mother's funeral. Gia is Danang's granddaughter and Jared's biological daughter, a truth she never knew. She was raised in the city to keep her away from this dark secret. As soon as she sets foot in the village, strange occurrences begin. Thunder roars and Danang becomes furious upon seeing Gia. He immediately orders her to leave, repeatedly warning, "This village is not safe for you." But Gia insists on staying to take care of her grandfather. Tensions rise between them. Meanwhile, the village chief gathers all the villagers and issues a chilling warning. Jared's daughter has returned. No one should go outside at night. If you hear a knock, do not open the door, and don't let your children out of your sight. Panic spreads through the village. The chief further warns, "If anyone looks into the eyes of the spirits, they will die." Hearing this, everyone starts living in fear. Meanwhile, Gia is packing her mother's belongings. Danang says, "I will personally take you out of the village." But someone has punctured the car's tire. Everyone in the village is hiding inside their homes, and no one comes out to help. Gia's boyfriend Dika sits near the car, flipping through a book. Suddenly, lightning flashes and the sky roars. In the distance, he sees some people standing. He tries to talk to them, but they are not humans, they are ghosts. Even the village guards are terrified upon seeing them. Just then, a stout guard finds himself standing close to the ghosts. In the next moment, his horrifying scream echoes throughout the village. Elsewhere, a woman hides her daughter inside a cupboard, but the ghosts do not stop chasing her. Meanwhile, Dika hides behind the car when Gia arrives. Dika tells Gia that he has seen the ghost carrying a coffin with his own eyes, but Gia refuses to believe him. On the other side, a terrified woman tries to hide under her bed, but the ghosts find her. They drag her out mercilessly and strangle her. Meanwhile, her daughter, hidden inside the cupboard, watches everything but is helpless. At the same time, the stout guard, who has already fallen under the ghost's control, repeatedly bangs his head against a wooden pillar. Meanwhile, Gia and her boyfriend argue over whether they should stay or flee. Suddenly, a severed hand falls in front of them. Danang, sitting nearby, watches the ghost's movements through the window. He immediately grabs a gun and fires at a ghost, somehow managing to save himself. But Danang is furious. He yells, "Gia, you should have never come to this village. You have put everyone's life in danger. We must get out of here tonight at any cost." Gia, worried, asks Danang, "What exactly is going on?" But Danang refuses to tell her anything. Meanwhile, Gia's boyfriend hears the sound of a coffin being lifted again. Danang quickly pulls out a magical mirror from his pocket. This mirror can reveal the presence of ghosts. But as soon as they take a few steps forward, the ghosts grab Gia's boyfriend. Gia screams in fear, but Danang uses the mirror to locate the ghost. Somehow Dika manages to escape again. Dika and Gia run in the dark. Gia doesn't want to leave Danang alone, but her boyfriend convinces her, "These ghosts are too powerful. We can't face them. If we go back, we will die." That's when Gia remembers that there's a phone at Molly's house. They think of calling the police for help, but when they reach there, they find blood splattered all over the floor. Suddenly they hear Miley's voice coming from inside the closet. Gia opens the closet, and Miley, crying, hugs her. She tells them that the ghost killed her mother. The three of them realize that staying here is like inviting death. They start running. Just then, they see a moving car in the distance. Dika sighs in relief and runs toward it. But in the very next moment, the car transforms into ghosts carrying a coffin. The ghosts lift Dika into the air and throw him down. They attack his leg, injuring him badly. Gia and Miley try to support him and escape. But Dika, groaning in pain, stops. The ghosts attack again. This time they rip out Dika's heart, killing him. Gia faints upon witnessing all this. Meanwhile, Dalong arrives at the village chief's house and tells him that he needs an amulet and some weapons. He has a plan. He wants Gia to be the one to eliminate Gerard. If Gerard is killed, the village's curse will be lifted. The chief agrees but warns Delong to keep his windows and doors locked. On the other hand, a man named Yano kidnapped Jia. He has hidden Meili in a corner and tells Jia, "I have been waiting for you for so many years." Then he removes an amulet from her neck. This amulet was made from Rot's teeth by Nang. Yano reveals to Jia who her real father is. The truth starts to unfold. It turns out that Denang himself had killed Gero, severing his head from his body to ensure he could never return to life. This is because Gero was no ordinary human. He practiced dark magic and drank human blood. Even bullets couldn't kill him. However, ever since Jaya arrived in the village, the spirits of those who died 10 years ago have started emerging from beneath the ground. Now anyone who looks into their eyes is doomed to die. Meanwhile, the village chief's wife is furious. She scolds the chief, asking, "Why did you give that amulet to Nang? Without it, these ghosts will destroy us all." The truth is, the chief was also among those who had killed Rot's goons years ago. Just then, there's a knock at the door. The chief assumes that Denang must have forgotten something, but as soon as he opens the door, no one is there. The next moment, the chief's wife sees ghosts carrying a coffin, and then an unseen force lifts her into the air. The chief picks up a gun and tries to save her, but it's too late. His wife takes her last breath right there. After that, the ghosts attack the chief and slice his body in half. Meanwhile, Yant tells Jia that Denang will resurrect Gero tonight, but to do so, he will use a knife stained with Jia's blood. Jia refuses to believe that her grandfather could do such a thing. Angrily, Yant says, "Your grandfather is a traitor. He made an amulet from Gerard's teeth and never gave me anything." Going to extreme lengths, he gouged out his own eyes so he wouldn't be able to see the ghost who brought the coffin. Now he wants to kill Jia to take revenge on Denang. Just then, Denang arrives and confronts Yant, leading to a deadly fight. Denang is about to kill Yant when Jia stops him, saving Yant's life. Denang then takes Jia with him and picks up the amulet before leaving. Meili secretly witnesses everything. Denang and Jia arrive at his mansion, where a heated argument breaks out between them. Denang tries to explain, "Everything I'm doing is for your safety." Then he goes to a hidden underground chamber and pulls down a box hanging from the ceiling. He opens it to reveal Jared's severed head. Denang then joins the body and head together and places the amulet inside Jared's mouth. After that, he picks up the blood-stained knife, preparing to stab Jared's heart. But just then, Yano arrives and is about to strike Denang from behind, when suddenly, Jared's soul returns to his body. Now fully resurrected, Gero comes back to life. Yano immediately falls at his feet and begs for forgiveness, but Gero ignores him and drinks all his blood. After that, he attacks Denang and stabs a knife into his leg. Denang regrets marrying his daughter to DJ Rod. Just then, Jia enters the room. Gero is overjoyed to see his daughter. He hugs her and says, "Now we are together. No one can separate us." But will this reunion truly bring happiness? Denang, standing nearby, shouts, "He is not your father anymore. He has become a demon." Jia, pleading, begs Jared, "Please let Grandpa go." But Jared's glowing red eyes had completely lost control. He was about to take Nang's life when Jia quickly grabbed the blood-stained knife from the floor. She slashed her own hand, smeared it with her blood, and in one swift motion, stabbed the knife into Jaro's chest. Jaro couldn't believe that his own daughter had killed him. All the dark forces inside him escaped, and he was destroyed forever. But the scene doesn't end there. As Jia tries to help her grandfather Nang and escape, Meili enters the room with a gun, her face red with rage. She screams, "Because of you two, my mother died. The whole village was wiped out. Now you must die too." Using his last ounce of strength, Denang grabs a spiked wooden plank nearby and throws it at Meili. She collapses instantly. However, in this fierce battle, Denang also takes his final breath. Blood is splattered across the room. Jia is gravely wounded, barely able to stand. Just then, her eyes fall on the knife lying on the floor, the same knife with which she had killed Jaro. She picks it up and does something no one could have expected. She licks her father's blood. Suddenly, her eyes glow yellow. Jia is no longer human. She has become an immortal demon. And the story doesn't end here. Suddenly, a mysterious organization enters the room, silently taking Jaro's body away. What were their intentions? Were they planning to bring Jaro back to life? This mystery remains hidden in the film. So finally, here the movie ends. Subscribe to this channel for more stories like this.